Hi, I'm getting ready to food prep my breakfast for the next couple of days and thought that I would show you what I'm doing. This is my new recipe. It is a chocolatey grain-free porridge, which I think is absolutely delicious. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water to each of my containers here. I'm going to make one for me and one for my husband for the next 2 days. And so I'm going to need 2 cups of water to make 4. You can make off 4. I could make 4 for just myself and it would last for the next 4 days. That's fine. So just put a little bit of water in there because I'm going to add chia seeds. And chia seeds are going to swell. They're going to plump up. Chia seeds are very high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are wonderful for inflammation, for brain health. They're just absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to be putting in 2 tablespoons of chia seeds into each one of these. And then why am I showing you 4 of them? Because I'm going to do them different ways. Show you, you have several different options. You can have a different flavor. I like a lot of variety. I like something different every day, and so that is why I do this. Alright, so 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. I think I only put 1 in those last 2. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of flax seeds. So I keep my flax seeds in the freezer. Did I bring my bag over? Maybe not. And then I grind them right before I use them. So I put them in my coffee grinder. I just ground them. And then I keep them in the freezer. So this will be enough for probably a week. And I'm only going to put 1 tablespoon of flax in each one. But it's another really healthy fat that's wonderful for brain health, for your hormones, for inflammation, so many different things. Very high in fiber, wonderful for digestion. Anyway, you can see I have probably 1/4 cup of ground flax seed that I need to put in my freezer. And then I'm going to be adding hemp seeds. So hemp hearts are very high in protein. You can see on the bag it even promotes their protein. I'm going to be putting 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds in each one. This is another one very high in omega-3 fatty acids, but it's also very high in protein. And protein is a wonderful thing to have in the morning to start your day. So you can see I don't have any sugar in here. I don't have anything sweet, so I will be adding something in there to add a touch of sweetness. I'm running out. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to add some protein powder. So this is optional. You don't need it, but I only have a little bit. So I'm only going to put a little bit in one of them. That's all I have. And so I wanted you to see that it doesn't matter. They don't have to be the same. We can make all of them different. So the next thing I'm going to do is add my water. And so for each one I'm going to need about 1/2 cup of water, which is why I had 2 cups of water to start with. This one with the protein powder is going to need a little bit more water so it's not too thick. And I'm not going to add all of the water. I'm going to stir. I'm going to let the chia seeds swell. And then see if I need to add, well, maybe I am. See if I need to add any more water. Actually, they look pretty good. I used up all the water. Okay, so I'm going to stir them. And let it sit because it will thicken up a little bit. Alright, so something else that I like in my breakfast porridge is cocoa. You could totally leave this out. You could put vanilla in there if you want, or vanilla powder. That'd be even better than a vanilla extract. So I'm going to add cocoa powder to all of them. This is a tablespoon of cocoa. That is going to be very chocolatey. You could use a teaspoon if you just want a teaspoon. I like chocolate. So this is cacao powder, which is a more natural form, less processed, and you can buy it organic as well. So I have my cocoa in there, and then I'm going to sweeten it with lohan, which is also known as monk fruit. So you can see what color that is. Monk fruit is a tan brown color. It is not white processed color. So when you buy lohan, L-O-U-H-A-N, 2 words, or monk fruit, you want to make sure that it's not a highly processed product. You want to make sure there aren't any other fillers or flavorings in there as well. And so I'm going to add maybe a half a teaspoon. Depends on how much sweetness you like. I'm actually going to only put a quarter teaspoon. I don't like a lot of sweet. It's been so long since I've had sweet stuff. So if you are transitioning from a lot of sweet stuff, then you may want a full teaspoon. I'm going to be doing a quarter teaspoon. Okay, so far they're all the same except for one has more protein powder. So I'm going to stir it again, and then while it thickens, I'm going to grab my toppings. Okay, so I have my toppings. And while this is still setting up, I have all of my toppings. I have some frozen fruit, I have strawberries, I have mixed berries, but I want to make some of these functional foods. And so I could just stick with what I have here and make my toppings, or I can think about some other things that I need. Maybe you need to add some green things, maybe some DHA to your diet. You could always add some spirulina or chlorella. And so I'm going to add just a quarter teaspoon because I do not like the smell or the taste. But that's going to just give me a little bit of its benefits. Something else that you could add is maca. So maca is a wonderful herb that's it's wonderful for balancing the hormones. It's one of those that I just like to add to all sorts of things. Do your own due diligence. This is not medical advice. I'm not telling you to use any of these herbs. Do your own research and see if it's right for you. I'm going to add a teaspoon of maca to each one. Maybe not each one, but a couple of them. I could add it to all of them. And something else that I like to add, if you have someone who has maybe some digestive complaints, maybe they have some skin conditions. Remember, the skin is the same as the intestines. That lining is the same. So this is slippery elm or marshmallow root. I like both of those. I like to use the powders, but it's very mucilaginous, very healing to the gut lining, the whole mucosal system. So someone who has sinus conditions, maybe irritated sinuses, slippery elm could be helpful for that. Another thing that I have is eleuthero. So eleuthero is an adaptogen. It's wonderful for someone who maybe is under a lot of stress. Maybe they've used the words adrenal insufficiency. Eleuthero is stimulating without caffeine, so it can give you a little bit of energy, but it's also hormone modulating. It helps to just regulate your ability to handle any kind of stress. So I'm going to put, it's another one that I don't really like the taste and smell, but I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon in a couple of these. And then something else that I like to add is pomegranate powder. I think I got this one from Bulk Supplements. I don't have anything else with their label. I'm not an affiliate with them. But pomegranate powder is high in nitric oxide. You could use beet powder. It's also this beautiful pink color. I'm only going to put it in a couple of them. But nitric oxide is wonderful for circulation. If you study a lot about the heart and circulation, then you know nitric oxide is important. If you saw the Game Changers movie, they talked a lot about nitric oxide and blood flow as far as enhancing sexual activity among some of the participants there. Okay, so you can see it's getting really thick. Because I keep adding these powders. So if it gets too thick for you, add a little bit more water. And if you want to have a little bit more flavor, you could always add a non-dairy milk. This would have been great with oat milk or almond milk, soy milk if you do soy. Yeah, so this one's getting a little bit too thick, but I'm going to add frozen fruit to it, and that will add a little bit more moisture. Okay. They look really good. So we're almost finished with our breakfast. The next thing I'm going to do is add some yogurt. This is a homemade yogurt that's very high in probiotics. So if you can make your own, that is probably the best way. You can put in your own probiotics. You'll know what's in there. A lot of times when we buy store-bought yogurt, we don't know how long it's been on the shelf. A lot of times they use cheaper probiotics that aren't quite as beneficial for us. But I can do another class on different strains of probiotics. But it's just a wonderful way to boost your microbiome, help with hormone balancing, overall general wellness. So I've topped them all with yogurt, and then I'm going to add a Brazil nut to every one because I think Brazil nuts are wonderful to help with selenium, which is important for the thyroid. See, everyone gets a Brazil nut. And then I'm going to add my fruits. So for one of them, I'm going to put strawberries. One of them will have, these are some dewberries and blueberries I just picked in my yard. And for one of them, I'm going to add some cherries. Very high in antioxidants. All of these fruits are very, very high in antioxidants, and these are lower glycemic fruits to go with our grain-free breakfast to help with blood sugar balancing. But if you are concerned about your blood sugar, then make sure you test these foods with when you eat them. So like blueberries, I don't have an issue with blueberries, but I know some people do. The blood sugar spikes when they have blueberries. All right, so I'm adding a half a cup of blueberries. And so you just choose the ones that are best for you. You don't have to do all of these, whichever one works for you. And then I'm going to add a little bit of coconut. Coconut helps with inflammatory markers. It helps to convert the omega-3 fatty acids to longer chains, which helps with inflammation. So I'm going to add just a little bit of coconut to each one. You don't have to. You can always leave that out. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cocoa nibs. I don't know if you've ever had cocoa nibs, but they just add a little more chocolatey crunch. So I'm going to add a little bit, and very high in antioxidants. Don't these look delicious? So it's a high protein, high omega-3 fatty acid breakfast we have here. I'm going to have to take a photo for you to see all of them. They are beautiful, chocolatey, delicious. What a healthy way to start the day. Anyway, I hope you like this recipe. I hope you like this video. Please comment and let me know. I love to hear from you. No matter what you have to say, I want to hear from you. Let me know what else you would like to learn about. Please hit like and subscribe to my channel. And once again, I'd love to hear from you. Have a healthy breakfast. Enjoy!